Radio Romania International. You are listening to our one-hour broadcast in English for listeners in Western Europe and Japan. We can also be heard on the internet at www.rri.ro Channel 1. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and other social media platforms. Our programs are also available on TuneIn, Radio Romania International 1 and via satellite Eutelsat 16A on 11,512 MHz, vertical polarization, azimuth 16 degrees east. Symbol rate 29,950 megasymbols per second. Standard DVB as 2. Modulation 8 PSK. Audio PID 510. We wish you good reception conditions.
Hello, I'm your host, Elena Enache, bringing you the news. First, the headlines. The Romanian Prime Minister Nicolae Ciucă and the Speaker of the Chamber of Deputies, Marcel Ciolacu, participated in the state funeral of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Romania is taking part in the European Space Agency's HERA program. And Romania's national football team defeated Bosnia in the Nations League but was relegated to the third echelon. Romania is taking part in the European Space Agency's HERA program that in 2023 will send a spacecraft to perform a close-up survey of the asteroid hit by NASA. HERA will gather key information such as the size of the crater, the mass of the asteroid, and its makeup and internal structure. Romania's contribution consists in providing the necessary techniques so that HERA reaches the asteroid, observe and assess the effects of the impact, the Romanian Space Agency reported. After 10 months of flying in space, NASA's double asteroid redirection test, the world's first planetary defense technology demonstration, successfully impacted its asteroid target on Monday in the agency's first attempt to move an asteroid in space, NASA reported. The mission's one-way trip confirmed NASA can successfully navigate a spacecraft to intentionally collide with an asteroid to deflect it, a technique known as kinetic impact. Debates continued on Tuesday in Romania's parliament on the articles of the law on the status of judges and prosecutors. The Special Parliamentary Committee had already been discussing for several days the last bill from the package of new justice laws drafted by the government. On Monday, senators and deputies from the Special Parliamentary Committee continued the article-by-article debate of the draft law on the status of judges and prosecutors and managed to adopt approximately 180 articles out of the total 294. Most articles passed in the form submitted by the executive. Also on Monday, the report on the draft law on judicial organization was adopted by the Parliamentary Committee, a document that Tuesday entered the plenary debate of the Chamber of Deputies as the first body notified. The Romanian Prime Minister Nicolae Ciucă and the Speaker of the Chamber of Deputies, Marcel Ciolacu, participated on Tuesday in Japan in the state funeral of the former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who had a decisive contribution to the launch of the actions meant to take the relations between the two countries at the level of a strategic partnership. Prime Minister Ciucă said in a Facebook post that Shinzo Abe will continue to be a symbol of those who defend democracy. Attending the ceremony were around 50 international leaders, among whom the U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris and the EU Council President Charles Michel. Shinzo Abe was killed on July 8th by a former officer during a campaign speech. On Monday, Nicolae Ciucă met with his Japanese counterpart Fumio Kishida, with whom he discussed the security and defense component, one of the 4 cooperation pillars of the future strategic partnership, and also economic cooperation, given that Japan is the largest Asian investor in Romania. The Japanese Prime Minister assured his Romanian counterpart of his full support for the conclusion of the strategic partnership and the consolidation of bilateral cooperation, including at external level, in the regional and international context that requires the protection of democracy and the rule of law. Romanian President Klaus Iohannis said on Tuesday, upon the anniversary of 20 years of existence of the National Anti-Corruption Directorate, that the work of anti-corruption prosecutors must be doubled by a clear, coherent legislation that guarantees the independence of the judiciary and creates the necessary mechanisms for the good functioning of the prosecutors' offices. The President also said that the reform of the justice laws must be completed in accordance with the recommendations of the European bodies. Klaus Iohannis emphasized that with each step taken in the fight against corruption at all levels, Romania is closer to concluding the mechanism of cooperation and verification, joining the Schengen area and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. A society in which corruption is sanctioned gives citizens confidence in the state and tells investors and external partners that there is predictability and stability, President Iohannis said. Romania's national football squad defeated on Monday evening in Bucharest Bosnia's national team, score 4-1 in Group 3 of League B of the Nations League, but was relegated to the third echelon. With only 2 victories and a draw in 6 games, the Romanians are on the last position in the group, being outrun by Bosnia, Montenegro and Finland. And that was the news.